Well, hello friends, Coach Bob with you today, and today it is day 2 of the Florida Adventure Trail, the Western Panhandle. We had a massive storm last night. I should have run cameras. It was actually quite a light show. This is the area we're at. I'm going to ride through this parking lot just so you can see it. They have a public area here where you can come in, and they've got a beach set up and got it all roped off. It's beautiful. But it's really nice here. Camel Lake is by Bluntstown. Very, very nice. But anyway, we had quite a storm last night. So yesterday was a super duper duper dry, super deep sugar sand. And as you can see from the standing water, and this is very high country where they've been control burning. This could be an interesting day. It's going to have an entirely new set of problems. What those problems will be, I guess they will unfold. I almost ran over Mr. Squirrel. He better run. Run, Mr. Squirrel, run. So today we're going to be dealing with a lot of water probably. We'll find out. It's been kind of dry in the Panhandle, so we'll see. But we're leaving Bluntstown. Our goal tonight is Destin, Florida. We got a beautiful campsite. Can't wait to share that with you. Hopefully we make it there. It's a ride. Yesterday we did 165 miles. It was a long day. You know, you figure your average 20 miles an hour. So we were 8 hours in the saddle yesterday. It was a fun day, but we both, that's some serious looking mud there. I just better check that out. It wasn't slippery though. Yeah, that's one of those things you don't want to go wrapping around there. Some of this mud, it'll develop that little slippery surface up top, and when it does that, it's like riding on motor oil or ice. But today, like I said, we're looking at going to Destin. I'll share the map with you. We'll be going, we got to head up north into Bluntstown, and then we'll be heading west out of here, going up through Defuniak Springs and that area up there. So I know there are some interesting places for us to see today. So let's get ready to do a little adventure riding. It's going to be awesome, man. Adventures are fun. You know, I want to say that this is in my backyard, and for years, anyone who's been watching this channel understands I've been taking care of a sick child, and I debated whether or not to even go on this trip. I really kind of felt guilty about going on it, you know. I'm going through some weird things emotionally with her life and death and all that stuff, but I think it's the right thing for me to do, to get out here and to live. And so Coach Vic and I discussed it, and my buddy was like, I'm in. I want to see you flourish in your life, so let's get out and do it. But I want you guys, if you're worried about, hey, are you going to be doing a lot of Can-Am stuff? Yes, I am. I'm going to be doing a ton of Can-Am stuff. I'll be dropping these videos. I'm not sure how it's going to play out, but we'll figure it all out, how it all is going to blend in. So if you enjoy adventures, if you enjoy motorcycle riding, so whether it be spider riding or adventure riding, and I know those two are worlds apart, but they have one common thing, and that is the family of being in the outdoors and experiencing life. And that's what I plan on doing here. So there you go. All right. Well, the next time you see us, we're going to be somewhere out on the trail, a little more challenging than this probably. Hopefully we don't have as many falls as we did yesterday, but if we do, we do. And, fingers crossed, right? Nobody gets hurt, nothing gets broken. Keep us in your prayers as we do these trips. But anyway, we're going to do a lot of them. Going to be doing some spider trips, going to be doing some adventure trips. Life is going to be grand. All right. So let's enjoy the morning. Get you a cup of coffee. Well, we are 23 miles into the ride this morning, and we have just gotten off the road. This is a little road called Jimmy Yon Road. It's right outside of Bristol, Bluntstown area, maybe 15 miles out of town. Beautiful stretch of road. If you're like me and you love this farmland type look, it's beautiful. It's hard for me to even imagine this sometimes. We live in our little worlds, right? We live, in these communities and cities, and we have things everywhere and all of the conveniences of life. And you get out here and there are people that live out here and they're working out here. Obviously, there's a lot of work has been done out here. It's unbelievable that this is right out our back door. There's so many wooded areas for us to ride in and areas to play in that you don't even realize they're here until you just get out and experience it. I'm so grateful for Vicky to not have a problem with me doing this, and so grateful for my buddy Ken to be doing this with me. It's just been a magnificent trip. It has been wonderful clearing my head, and to take you guys along with me to experience it is really exciting. If you would do me a favor on this beautiful day 2 of the Panhandle, Florida Adventure Trail trip, if you would give the video a big old fat thumbs up, share it with your friends, all that stuff. Leave a comment of encouragement down at the bottom. Tell us how to ride better and all that kind of stuff. All right, I'm going to have to look at my map, see where I'm going here. It doesn't have turn by turn. I'm just looking at a plot. It's nice and cool this morning. It's been in the 90s every afternoon, but this morning it's just perfect weather. I mean, it's probably low 70s, mid 70s, so it's brisk. When you're moving, it's warm. If you're sitting in the sun just standing there, it feels hot. It could even be 80 for all I know, but it's nice. I want to encourage everyone to get out. Make sure there wasn't a turn off. I want to encourage everyone to get out and do this sort of thing, whether it's on a Spider or an adventure motorcycle, or even if it's just in your car. Get in your car and go for a drive. If you have a 4-wheel drive, go out and, paint your Jeep with clay. Get out there and enjoy, experience it. It's wonderful. We got caught in a massive storm last night, and we knew it was coming. We were watching it pretty close. It was supposed to pass north of us, but it didn't, and so we ended up heading up under a little awning area just due to the electrical activity. And then as soon as the electricity stopped, we went back to the tents and slept. It was pouring rain and high winds, but it was good. It was real good. We were into bed early and up early. It was nice. All right, well, we're just going to put in more miles, but this Florida Adventure Trail is absolutely beautiful, and I just cannot believe that I am a lucky boy that gets to do this. All right, well, let's keep playing. All right, we got an odd bridge coming up here. Yep. Very, very cool. Nice, big clear creek down there. We are on a road that we've been riding on for a little while. It's just beautiful. It's a lot of forestry work being done out here. But it's crazy. I believe that this might be Eglin. Bombing ranges and that sort of thing. Because that does look awfully secure. This stretch of road is just absolutely amazingly beautiful, man. Just crazy. Yeah, I will bet you that all of this, including this road, I bet this is all military land, every bit of it. And we're going to go straight across the highway. All right, well, we are somewhere between somewhere and somewhere else. All right, so we are south of Defuniak Springs in the middle of the woods somewhere on federal land. It's beautiful. We took a little bit of time to have a snack lunch and got the motorcycles taken apart. We pulled all the tents and stuff out, let them dry in the sun. Worked great. So taking the time. Now we're gonna get back in the dirt, ride a little bit. Then there's gonna be a little bit of pavement and a little more dirt, and that'll be it. And then tonight is Destin, Florida, or somewhere over in that area. We're gonna be staying at my buddy's family's home over there. Gonna be camping out in their yard right there on the Intercoastal Waterway. It's gonna be super nice. So be sure and stick around. You'll be able to check that out. So we are now in the woods south of Defuniak Springs on military land. There's a lot of bombing ranges out here. You got Eglin and Tyndall, and all of that airspace comes together. Ken and I are very familiar with all that. There's water hole, Ken, coming up in the middle of the trail, but you can get around it. Yeah, yesterday this would have been nice, hard packed, easy to ride. Today it's been slippery in spots with that kind of gray mud that just kind of bubbles up to the surface, but overall it hasn't been too terrible. But what a beautiful, beautiful place. I'll lower this a little bit so you can hear me, but it is absolutely beautiful. The pine trees. I'm from the south, and so to me, palmettos and green trees and grass, flat land, you know, for me is a big joy. I know there are those who don't like that. They're looking for mountains and big boulders, and they might find this monotonous and boring, but I certainly don't. I find it spectacular and beautiful. This ride has been such a wonderful experience. My buddy and I mean, we've been friends for a long, long time, in excess of 25 years, and it's just nice to get out here and reconnect with each other, reconnect with the world, and get out here and do our thing on these motorcycles. We bought them for this purpose, and we're actually doing it, so it's beautiful. The Florida Adventure Trail, what we're going to do, we're going to break it up into this section and 2 other sections, and between those 3 sections we ought to be able to get the whole thing done in the next month or 2, and then towards the end of summer look at heading up north for a couple of weeks, doing 2 weeks on the Trans-America Trail, and then it'll be wintertime. There it is. So we'll get all that squared away. But the big thing I want to do is not think about then or what's coming up, but just to enjoy the moment that is now. It's just wonderful. Look at the marshland. Isn't that amazing? So today we've done 65 miles already because we had a little more paved road than we did yesterday, and the dirt roads have been way more navigable. Yesterday was deep sand all day long. It was a very, very challenging day, but it was fun. It was wonderful. It made you really pay attention to what you were doing. All right, well, next stop we'll be somewhere and we'll be talking with you. Look at that. Man, that is just absolutely stunningly beautiful. Wow. That's just crazy beautiful. rolling hills, open land, beautiful trees. You got the clear-cut sections that'll just give you just miles of views. Wow, it feels like I'm out west with the mixture of the clay and everything, seeing colors in the dirt. Just beautiful, just beautiful. It has been a beautiful ride. We did have a little issue on the side of the road. I turned the Tiger off and it didn't want to crank back up. Apparently there is a plunger in the clutch lever for anyone who has a Tiger and you're dealing with stuff and you go, man, I'm pressing the starter and nothing is happening. If that plunger sticks or if dirt gets up in there, it's going to show that the clutch hasn't been utilized and the motorcycle won't crank. So anyone who says there's not a mountain in Florida, this is Sand Mountain. Yep, Sand Mountain. So you can come out here and you can test your sand riding skills. I'm sure you would do better than me, because me ain't gonna do it. That right there, my friends, that is sand like you can't even imagine. That is nuts. Now we have officially seen the official state Florida mountain, Sand Mountain. Wow. An astonishing 272 feet above sea level. That's how deep the sand is, 272 feet. So we are in Walsall, Florida. That is W-A-U-S-A-U. Small town, beautiful place, really nice people. Young man that busted the table and brought us our food, super nice. It's a great place. The girl that waited on us and suggested food. It's a place called Katie's Cafe. All right, so we are in a little restaurant in Walsall. Food looks absolutely stellar. Look at that sandwich. This is what you get when you get off of the highway. Get in the back roads, little towns. Okay, look at this. This is gonna be ugly. You don't want to see this. I'm turning the camera off. But the food looks awesome. So if you're on the Florida Adventure Trail, make sure you come by here because this place is the best. And the prices, I mean, great prices. It's an interesting brick layout, that's for sure. Super great food though, man. Look at that. Friday all day, 1995 steak and shrimp. Saturday all day prime. Did you guys go to the... There it is, Katie's Cafe. It's been a good day. It's been a busy day. It's been a hard day. Been a hot day. Been a cold day. I have been cold. It's been a great day. Beautiful riding, good company. We're gonna get back on the trail right now. All right, we are outside of Walsall and nice little canopy road, a ton of shade right outside of the town. Really beautiful. The town, the people were very accommodating and kind. Really small town Florida feel, not the big city thing that you would imagine with Florida. Certainly no fast pace. Beautiful woods. There's a lake on the other side of that tree line. We obviously can't see it, but there is a lake over there, and it's made it all really nice and cool here. That coming off of the water and the shade from the trees. We just came out of a full canopy a minute ago, and the whole road was just covered in shade. The Florida Adventure Trail, man, it has not disappointed. I will tell you that. It is definitely not disappointed. You know, I've heard a lot of folks complain about it, saying that there's not enough change of scenery. Well, I'm just going to have to beg to differ. Every time I come around a corner, I see a beautiful green forest that is a little different than the one that I just looked at. I'm not bored with it at all. I guess it depends on what you're looking for. Someone put in an enormous amount of work to cobble all of this together. It is really, really amazing. Look at this. A bridge, wooden bridge, no guardrails. I'll tell you what, now that right there, that is rural America. We are not worried about liability at all. That's just a wooden bridge with no guardrails. That is sweet. It did. You can feel it moving. That's beautiful. I love it. That was Hard Labor Creek. Now, well, if we look like we are in a beautiful place, well, guess what? We are in a beautiful place. After a long day of riding, we are here in a magical location. This beautiful dock and sunset and water and home belong to, but it's for sale. His father was a CIA man, a military man, and he loved everything about this, and it's just awesome. There's probably a lot of wind noise, so I'm not going to do a lot of talking now. We'll do our close out here in a little while, but man, what a beautiful opportunity here to come over, hang out at my brother's house here just for a little while and savor the experience. So why don't you just grab your cup of coffee, sit down, watch the sunset with us. All right, so lessons learned day 2. We're out by the pool. Very nice, very nice.
Campground.
Yeah, we're camping on the back porch. Our tents are right there. Look at that. That's our campground. Doesn't get much better than this. Look at that, look at that.
You look like the penguin.
All right, so just to let you know what we're laughing at. I cannot walk. My hips hurt so bad. I walk like the penguin now. So today was a much better day than yesterday.
I couldn't tear anything else off.
So
once you tear the windshield off, I mean, it's over.
Yeah.
What else are you going to tear off?
Clutch cable?
That I tried to burn up day 1.
So yesterday, Ken fell and broke his windshield.
You got to bring that up again.
He said he was feathering his clutch a lot, was worried he was going to burn his clutch up.
But the first 10 minutes of yesterday was like,
buy a motorcycle, he said. It'll be fun, he said. I
wonder what I can get rid for this thing with all the bags on it. But no, I really did. I mean, I was like, I can't do this forever because I won't have a clutch left. Obviously, I don't know what I'm doing. But
you do know what you're doing, though.
No, today was much better.
Much better day.
Today was epic.
We were talking earlier tonight when we were eating about how yesterday was such a hard day, but it ended up great. We're camping out. It's a wonderful night. Even though we had a big storm, level 5 thunderstorm came blowing through last night, and yet we still managed to get through all that and had a great time. And so it was funny how we drew so much joy from camping and hanging out, having coffee, having a good meal, that sort of stuff together.
Bob makes a great cup of coffee. That's what we learned.
Little Bobby Barista.
Yeah.
So
I want a little heart in
a little heart. I'll have to get a little paper cutout to do it.
Yeah, whatever.
But so it ended up being a great day, and then today was epic. It was going beautifully, and then I stopped. I turned my motorcycle off. We didn't get any footage of this. I turned my motorcycle off, and when I turned it back on, nothing. I mean, all of the electrical stuff on the dash came up. The fuel pump would start. Everything looked great. Pull the clutch in, press the starter button, nothing. So we called Matt from Florida Motorsports. By the way, thank you for answering your phone.
First of all, let's paint the picture. It wasn't just right. We were in the middle of nowhere. Were we not? I mean, seriously, that sounds like everybody can say that, but I'm telling you, where we were today at that time, we were in nowhere.
It was hot. The sand was deep.
We had to be self-sufficient, right?
Right.
So you had this issue, which was totally out of the blue.
Yep.
And totally unexpected, and kind of really not. This isn't a flat tire, right?
Right.
It's like you have a flat tire. Okay, I got to fix the flat tire. What have we got to do that? This was you put your key in your motorcycle, turned it on. Everything was where it should have been, neutral, whatever. Pull in the clutch, hit the starter button. You hear everything come on, the fuel pump and everything, but doesn't start. Nothing happens.
Nothing.
Right?
Yeah.
So
lights don't dim. Nothing.
So after trying it a few times and checking everything, you start to realize there's a problem here.
Yeah.
Now you're talking an electrical problem.
Right.
And you're talking, we don't even really know what's causing that problem. And we're in the middle of nowhere. And really, I started to think, all right, we got a tow rope. How far can I even tow him? You know that shirt I've got that says "Nobody's coming to save you"?
Yes,
I love
exactly
that shirt.
How it felt.
That's exactly what was going on. Nobody was coming to save us. You were starting to get a little upset, which was totally understandable. And I was like, I wasn't worried because I was like, well, I can ride out of here. I'll just leave it. No. So really, I was obviously, because it wasn't my motorcycle, I wasn't the kind of panic he was in but anyway, We're together. We're not going to leave each other. So I'm trying to figure out how I could possibly help him. But what did we do right? We worked the problem. Right. And because we worked the problem,
we found the solution.
Right. Now, luckily, we called Matt, and he was able to help us.
So there's a plunger beside the clutch lever. I'll see if I can't drop a picture or video somewhere in here. We're looking under the handlebar. Here's the clutch lever, and the pin is right behind this little square piece of metal. You'll see it when we get down here. You see there's a little pin that sticks out right there. And that pin, if it is not pressed in, it will not crank. But there's a little plunger. When you pull the clutch in, it presses this pin and it goes inside of a switch. And that switch tells the engine that it can crank. And if you don't have that pulled in, all Triumph motorcycles, the clutch is not, if the motorcycle is not told that the clutch is pulled in, it will not crank. So Matt was like, probably there's an issue with the switch. He talked to us about a way of maybe cutting some wires and bypassing the switch. By the way, we didn't have to do that. He was like, but maybe if you can move the switch, maybe something got in there in the dirt and the sand. And we also had that huge rainstorm last night. So I just got my pocket knife and I pressed the switch all the way in. And then I pulled the knife off so the switch would click, pop out. I did that 2 or 3 times, put the key in, cranked right up. And it's cranked up every time since.
Right, but I mean, which is, we worked the problem, you worked it, got it fixed. Now, the whole time this is happening, of course, in my mind, I'm like, the motorcycle doesn't know the clutch is pulled in or something, right. The kickstand. I mean, I guess there are 2 or 3 different places. I don't know. Like if the kickstand's not in the right spot or whatever, the bike won't start. And I'm thinking, all right, what is it? It's probably the clutch. To be honest with you, who threw their bike in the dirt 3 times yesterday?
Right.
Me. You never fall. Yeah. And it did rain like crazy last night.
On both motorcycles.
But so what? So if something, a piece of debris, and we still don't know why this happened, but I'm thinking it's something got in there and
I think so too.
Right? Yeah. It just cleaned it out. Who should that have happened to? The guy that threw his motorcycle in the sand 3 times.
But you hit
it upside down. Seriously.
You hit yours though on the brake side.
I get it.
But yours was on the brake side. You were actually knocking debris out of yours.
Is that what it was? What about the one time when it was upside down?
Yeah.
No, but seriously, and that's
Right, you
why
would
I
think-
kept doubting that this was a debris issue, because I was like, he hasn't done anything for the debris get in
right.
there. You're 99% of the time in front of me. I'm the
Right.
one that's getting dust or whatever off your bike. You're not. No, really.
Right. Yeah.
Where did that come from? And again,
Yeah.
we don't know that was exactly the cause, but I think it was.
Yeah. So anyway, once we clicked that switch, the bike cranked up and it worked great. I'm grateful to Matt for answering the phone again on a Sunday and answering our questions. And we had terrible cell coverage. It was so hot, my phone shut down. I mean, it was just a parody of errors.
Yeah.
And there was.
I was thinking military airlift out of there.
Yeah,
That's what I
yeah.
was thinking.
It was blazing hot, and I was starting to lose my cool a little bit. What are we going to do to get this motorcycle out of here? So there were some things I learned that one day that could happen. So I'm going to have to formulate in my mind how we're going to solve that. But
you
anyway.
know what never crossed my mind now that I
What's
think
that?
about it? Putting you on the back of my motorcycle and trying to ride the two of us out of there.
I think
Can you imagine?
I'm going to pack. I'm going to pack like a little tutu. And if one of us has to ride on the back, the only way you're allowed to ride on the back is if you wear that little tutu.
I can barely ride with me on there. Can you imagine the weight of you on the back? That would be interesting.
So today had its own, challenges. But other than that, it was a beautiful day. It had a cool morning and a cool afternoon. We saw a lot of beautiful scenery. One particular section was just like out west. It was so open and clear.
Yeah, the dirt, the gravel and the dirt roads and everything, they were all... I was kind of shocked at how well they were maintained. It was still challenging, but still, it wasn't like the first 30 minutes of our first day.
Yeah. Yeah, yesterday it was rough. Yeah. If you're on the edge of doing this sort of thing, it'll be fun, they say. Get your motorcycle, he says. Yeah. It'll be fun, he says. Yeah, and then you'll get out there, and then you'll
camp out in a thunderstorm. Right. Yeah, with lightning.
And then you'll
love it.
You're going to have those days, but it's kind of like the salty and sweet, right? You can't wash a Snickers bar down with a Coke. Sweet and sweet don't work. Got to have a little salty. Peanuts and a Coke.
Today was the whole reason. The last motorcycle I owned before this one was probably over 20 years ago. And it was a street bike. All the bikes I'd had before were street bikes. And I said, I will never buy another motorcycle unless I can get like a dual purpose off-road. I want to ride off-road. I just don't want to ride all the time on a sport bike anymore. And it took me 20 years for you to talk me into doing that. Right? And it's been a while since we've had them. We've done some riding. But really, today is the first day where I was like, this is why I bought this motorcycle. This is what this is about.
You mean yesterday wasn't that convincing?
No, yesterday sucked. I'm just going to say it. All you guys that love riding that kind of white sugar sand and can do it at 90 miles an hour and tear it up and go to Tate's Hell and do all that, more power to you. You're awesome. Probably great riders. If I never see Tate's Hell again, and I never see that white sugary sand that we started out in Tallahassee again, I'll be perfectly happy.
There you go. Honesty, right? Because it's not, that sort of stuff isn't for everybody. I mean, it's just not. So
you loved it.
I did. I had a good time.
Because you're a masochist.
True. This is true. But we have had a ball the last couple of days, and so it's more than just riding a motorcycle. It truly is the adventure. It's getting out and living your life. So I encourage you to do that. So I want you to do me a favor until next time. You go out by the motorcycle of your dreams. Eat right, take care of yourself, and remember, if you're not having fun, you are most definitely doing it wrong. You go seize the day. I'll see you on the road or the trail real soon.